up, YouTube? My name is Lexi. Welcome to my channel. It has been so long since I've even uttered those words, but I'm back. Hopefully I'm back for good. A lot was going on previously, but what better way for me to reintroduce myself other than to continue from the last video that I had posted. My last video was about Shannon Sharpe, so now that we have an outcome, let's get into the tea and let's talk about what is going on. For anybody who doesn't know by any chance, I don't know how you don't know, but for anybody who doesn't know, Shannon Sharpe was sued earlier this year by Gabriella Zuniga's, and she basically took him to court for SA allegations. She was suing for $50 million. Allegedly, she has won a settlement for $23 million. And now she is able to retire herself from OnlyFans and provide generational wealth for her family, for herself, for her spouse, for anyone who pretty much needs it. All while Shannon Sharpe now has been fired from ESPN. I think that that is just so mind-boggling for so many reasons, and I'm just like, this is literally just the epitome of what lack of self-control will get you. Shannon Sharpe, at the tender age of fossil, decided to engage in a relationship, a BDSM relationship, mind you, with a 19-year-old girl that he just met at the gym. I don't know, if I'm looking at the situation and I'm hearing certain conversations, I have a lot riding on me, I have assets, I have things to protect, I have a name for myself or whatever. Just thinking about what that looks like optically, I'm just like, I'm not about to go and do any of those things, because all of that and all those BDSM and race play, yada yada yada, all those things literally set him up to be in a very like precarious situation, which is where he is now.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this thing.
He thought wholeheartedly that he was going to be able to be there for ESPN by the time NFL season, like all this was going to be done. He thought that he was going to settle out the lawsuit and it'll be, you know, done and proper, and everybody will just gloss over it and he'll be able to report back to ESPN. ESPN is owned by Disney, my dear. Disney is not going to have anybody under their umbrella who is conducting themselves this way. Mind you, Shannon Sharpe also, like, I don't remember when the Michelle thing was. I think it was either like the end of last year, but either way, like, he just got off of that situation like barely. So to follow up with this situation right after, there was no way. I didn't think for 1 second he was going to be back at ESPN, not for 1 second. And I don't feel bad for him. I'm just like, we have to be able to have a little bit of foresight with our decisions, to just look at something and just say, you know what, I need to protect things, I have a lot going on. And lack of self-discipline, lack of just knowing how to move and how to maneuver yourself, you know. I think that that's just what's been so disappointing. I loved watching him on Club Shay Shay and watching him give his takes on certain things. You know, he's just a country bumpkin, and that was a thing. But also hearing how he's been disparaging black women, and also hearing about that follow-up story, how he pretty much put a strict budget on his daughter for her wedding or whatever.
A budget. You got a budget. I don't get whatever you do after that.
What number? I mean, I don't want to be in your business, but what number you said?
30,000.
Okay, so you can have a wedding with 30,000.
I don't know what you can have. I ain't even one getting married. I don't give a damn. Hey, they better go get one of them on Friday. Hey, y'all from the South, y'all know about that fried catfish and spaghetti plate. Hey, I know somebody hooked that thing right on up. What they charge by the plate? $10.50 a head. Spaghetti, fried catfish, a piece of cornbread, and a styrofoam cup of sweet tea. That's all you're getting. Man, I'm not finna go. Hey, just because they so. Oh hell, no, man, I wish I might.
And now here you are, fast forward, being, you know, suckered out of $23 million. That's crazy. That is crazy. And I do not feel bad for anybody who puts themselves in these type of situations. You knew what was the cost, you played around, and you fucked around, and you found out. You know, he has a pretty strong name for himself, so I don't think this is going to be the end of Shannon Sharpe by any means. But it's just now your name is attached and affiliated so deeply with this lawsuit. No matter what happens to you, this is always going to be a part of your This is always going to be a part of your story, and I think that that's extremely unfortunate. You worked so hard, you built this career, you built a name for yourself, you have so many things going on for yourself, and this is what you're going to get reduced to. So much so that his brothers are actually being inducted into the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame, and now, you know, he's all upset. Not he's upset, but he's feeling some type of way because he knows that the impact of this story is going to overshadow their accomplishments.
Everybody's heard the news by now that I will not be returning to ESPN. I found out this information a little earlier in the week, and really the only thing that I really ask is, like, guys, could we wait until Monday? My brother's going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I really wanted it to be about him, and I wanted it to be about my family. I know this coming out will overshadow everything that he's worked his entire life for. And unfortunately, you know, it didn't happen that way.
And I'm just like, this is what I'm talking about with the foresight. Think about things like that. The fact that his brothers aren't able to celebrate their moment, live in their moment, and they have to be overshadowed by this story is so sad. And also, he turned around and he's just like trying to tell ESPN to hold off on spreading the news until Monday so that his brothers could have their moment. No, sir, that's not how it works. The company, the network has fired you. They no longer have to worry about you. They no longer have to coddle your feelings. They no longer have to do anything that would, you know, make you comfortable as their employee. Like, no, they're going to do whatever it is that they want to do. Like, we could look at it and say, damn, that's a little messed up. But optically, and once I fire you from a business standpoint, it is what it is. All relationships are reciprocal. You do what you hold up your end of the bargain, we'll hold up our end of the bargain. And because you drop the ball where you drop the ball, they drop the ball where it is. Gabby, congratulations, baby. Go get yourself a drink. Like, go enjoy your life. This girl was able to retire her whole OnlyFans account, all because Shannon Sharpe was dumb. That is terrible. Just awful. Another thing I want to talk about is this conversation that keeps coming up with, like, oh, a white girl, da-da-da-da.
Get with a white woman because I was scared she might have me running down the street like Jonathan Majors.
There you go. See, come on, cat.
Not because I didn't like white women. I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not going to act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared. You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter.
I'm not saying that that's completely not applicable, but I am saying, in fact, that if it happens to any woman of any race, creed, color, whatever, but especially a black queen, I don't want that for any woman. I don't want any woman to go through something super traumatic with a man. I don't ever want to see a woman go through DV. I don't want to see any woman that's going to be assaulted in any way, shape, or form. I don't want that for anybody. So I think the conversation more so needs to be focused on his actions that were taken with a young girl who is very impressionable, who doesn't even have her frontal cortex fully developed, etc., etc. And just knowing that this was a dangerous situation in its totality. You know, it's not just because she's white. Obviously, the optics, we do have to talk about it, but it's not only because she's white. It's just because of what you are doing, the relationship that you're having, the obvious setup, the implicit, I'm going to take you to court and I'm going to take you for what you got. Like, I don't see how you did not see the play coming. I just can't, you know, I just can't really excuse that. And also the other trope of, oh, the white man does it, and when the white man does it, it's not a problem. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Because I'm just like, the same way, like, maybe it might not get caught or something like that, but nobody's looking at Leonardo DiCaprio and being like, oh man, he's great. I look at him and I'm just like, sir, it is about time. Because, you know, it's like a known joke that he doesn't do anything over like 25 years old. And he is also approaching the tender age of fossil. That looks crazy. So I don't know why that's a goal or an ambition for somebody else to have, but please eradicate these notions from your brain, because that is also going to get you caught up in the future. When Shannon came onto our screens with the hands crossed on the table, talking about this is a shakedown.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. I want black and the whole they're taking the black man down. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see that. I want that to just be removed from any form of conversation. Black man, take care of yourself. Black man, do not engage in degenerate behavior. Black man, protect your assets, protect your image, protect everything that you're working for, and don't let it get swindled by a girl. Like, what is happening here? Have some decorum, have some strength about yourself. Like, my only question is, was it worth it? Was it worth it to lose everything that you worked so hard for? Was it worth it to miss out on, you know, endorsements that you were taking on at the time? Was it worth it to now have the whole world know about what you do sexually? To have the whole world know that you are pretty much a self-hating black man who is into race play? Like, was it worth it? All because you just want to take down a little young thing. All because you just want to feel like you still got it. Like, was it worth it? It wasn't worth it. And what I do not want to see, for the love of God, I do not want to see another Jonathan Majors Megan Good situation. I do not want to see him get with a black woman. I do not want to see him be reformed through love and stuff like that. I don't want to see him go on any hobo tours. I want him to just really just kind of take a step back from whatever he needs to do. You know, go through therapy, go figure things out or whatever. But I do not want to see all of a sudden now you got a black woman and now you're doing this and now they're here to clean up your image. Like, I don't want to see any of that. The Jonathan Majors of it all, I do not want to see it happen in a case like this. So please, 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 no. Monique tried to warn him and told him that he needs to settle down and be with a woman of his own age and whatnot.
I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
But you tried to say what you tried to say.
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me live my life.
Let me tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I know.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it.
I don't really like the mammification of a woman, that image of what she had painted for him and whatnot. I'm not saying for him to go get with an old gold who ain't got nothing going on for himself, but I am saying that he needs to be with a woman who is more mature. Like, a lot of amazing beneficial things happen when you partner yourself with a woman who is of the same ilk as you, when you partner yourself with a woman who has, you know, when you partner yourself with a woman who is obviously going to be as invested in a situation as you. That is always going to be a cream of the crop, top tier situation or whatever. If it's not something that looks like that, if it's something that looks more like a tricking situation, if it's something that looks more superficial and whatnot, you can always guarantee that you're going to be, you know, lined up to lose your assets at the end of the day. In conclusion, I hope we have all learned a valuable lesson about how lust could actually, in fact, ruin your life, okay? Get some self-control, manage yourself, move with integrity always, and you will not find yourself in any position like Shannon Sharpe, okay? So that's all I have for this video. Drop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts, opinions, etc., etc. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah! Take care.